Well, it was just more of it was a sort of a manual paper folder for each job, as people would do. So you have a folder for each job, and in there would be the plans and permit and everything that we had for that specific job. We'll give it to the boys, and boys would go out there and have all the paperwork with them. You got to make sure to keep it out of the rain, and then obviously when you come back to the factory, you got to put it back in the filing cabinet in obviously alphabetical order, so the next person going out there can grab the folder and go back out again. So it's a very manual and very sort of physical way of maintaining all the paperwork to make sure each job had its paperwork and how things were ran, which got frustrating a lot of the time, because people would leave the factory, not take it with them, or the boards would get sent to another job and not have it with them. If you get sent to 2-3 jobs, you've got to take 2-3 folders with you. People leave them on site, lose them, all sorts of stuff. So it was a constant battle, always keeping on top of the boys to make sure that they put them back in the filing cabinet. So the next person goes out there, knows what's been done before they leave the factory, so they know what to take with them before they leave the factory, so they don't get to the job and go, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that with me. So it's just a big waste of time. A lot of it was a big waste of time. It did help, but it wasn't the best system to have at the time. So now looking back at what we've got now compared to the way we're running things, it's scary to think that we're running the way we were without this. So it just makes it so much easier. Like everything's online, it's all at your fingertips. And the best part about it is obviously the photo evidence and the history that you got from the last time you were there. You can just click the phone at tablet office. Julie in the office can see what's going on. I can get home, I can see what the boys have done after the day's work. I don't have to, go to the office or just ring them, make a phone call, speak to the boys. So yeah, it's a big difference compared to the good old, conventional paper folder in the filing cabinet system. Like everyone that runs a business, they want to be on every job, every minute of it. So, but when you've got multiple jobs going at the same time, you just physically can't get there. Melbourne traffic's getting worse, and you just don't get there in time. On top of that, it's expensive to travel from job to job, in the middle of traffic. And if you don't get there, mistakes are made. So, if I could have eyes on a job without getting there, you still got to go to the job. Don't get me wrong, but just for small detail stuff, just to make sure things aren't missed. A few photos, video evidence is all you need. You aren't going to go there, probably not today, but maybe tomorrow, and that's fine. But you don't have to go there today, because you can check what the boys have done online, go home in bed, just before you go to bed, just quickly flick through the photos of each job, see what they've done. And then at least I've got a feeling I'll know what's happening and what's been done today. Whereas, before, you had no idea. You had to make a phone call and hopefully the guy explained to me that what he did was right. And just take your own guy's word for it. But intentionally, they don't make mistakes. They just do what they think at the time's right. You instruct them to do something, they misunderstand something, they do it the wrong way or not the way you exactly want it, and then you don't know until you get there, and it could be too late. Concreters are there pouring concrete, or inspector's been and gone, hasn't passed, and you need to get him back again. So all these things that gave us the flexibility and the most important reason why we decided to go and build this app. Also too is on holidays. When you're away, you can check on things when you're not there. Go away for a week with the family, get some photos and have a look at what's going on. If you don't have reception, you can always go into town, have a look. Have a look at what the boys have done, give them a brief of what they need to do for tomorrow, give them a job list of what needs to get done, what they've missed, and then monitor things while you're away. So it feels like you're on holidays at the same time you're in Melbourne. So that was the biggest advantage of having it, and that was probably the big driver of it, which is why we decided to build it. So today, Julia's in the office, does all the permits, and obviously gets it to a permit stage. So once permits are issued, there's site plan engineering, plumbing plans that go with the job. Should have a folder for that job, and then then I'll go and make a folder, printing out all the plans and everything, and create this folder for the boys to put in a filing cabinet.
Sorry.
That's all right. For the filing cabinet, and then we'll go into the filing cabinet. So then once it's in the filing cabinet, that morning we'll go out to the job, we'll pull it out of the filing cabinet, explain to the boys what's going on, and they'll go out to the job and away they go. Now it's a bit different, whereas Julia, when she gets the permit, she uploads it into the job folder on the app. It's already there, so it doesn't matter where we are. If I'm at home, the boys are in the factory, I can just tell them to open up the app on the phone. I can talk to them through it, and they can see exactly what I've got on there. And I don't have all this paperwork that I have to print out, put in a folder, put in a filing cabinet. and prepare the jobs for them. Julie just pretty much, because everything's emailed through with permits, engineering, site plans, everything from architects, all that sort of stuff, just goes straight onto an email. All she does is just upload it into the job, and it's already sitting there ready to go. We'll make an adjustment on a couple of, put some plumbing plans in and things, a couple of little things that we need, and away we go. We've got the thing running and far less effort, and there's also a better paper trail with no paper. The most important thing for me was to make it as simple as possible. It's easy for me to sit at home on a computer and do a few things. I'm not real tech savvy either, so I'm not the most IT expert out there, so I wanted a simple one for myself. One of my workers is in his mid-50s. Like getting him onto a smartphone was like nearly impossible, so getting him onto an app that was too difficult just wouldn't have worked at all. So I had to make sure that whatever I designed had to be super simple, so but yet effective for me in the office and for my business. So it has to be just click at a finger, upload stuff. He can talk in it if he wants to. He doesn't have to type. So that way he'll use it, and it's more attractive to him to use. If it's too hard, he's just going to give me excuses why he can't use it. I forgot, left it in the car, flat battery, all this excuses will come out. So I just wanted to keep it as simple as possible, and quite surprising, he picked it up really quickly. After probably the first 2 weeks, he was onto it, and now he uses it every week. So, at the stage, you've got to push it into him, take photos, record, because they're just not used to that. And then it goes straight into the folder, whereas before they'll take a photo, but then 3 months down the track, we'll have to try to find his photo. Change his phones, lost his phone, dropped in the pool, or and then where's the photo gone? Ask the clients for photos, doesn't look professional. You're asking the client for photos of the work that you've done. So you're better off just having your own system built for tradies by a tradie, and I think it works out a better way than what we're seeing out there at the moment. So it just makes it easier to manage, because you look at it just a pool build, similar to a house build. You've got different stages, and you leave the site at a certain stage, and you don't come back until another stage of that backyard or house is done. So you've had multiple tradesmen build it, like the builders there, multiple tradesmen, machinery, forklifts. You've got all sorts of stuff on the side, bobcats, excavators. So at least if it's in milestones, then you got evidence of what you've got, what you've done to date, and the condition you've left it all in. Damaged down the track of property. We've had that come up a lot of times. At least if you can, people say, oh, you damaged the roller door, but if I've got evidence of us recording the access we had through a garage where the roller door wasn't even fitted at the time. So, how can you blame us for the roller door damage when the roller door wasn't even there when we done the job? So, then we left and the roller door got fitted. Obviously the pools got built in the back, but after that we only had pedestrian access. We didn't need any machinery access after that. And they put the blame on us. Then if you don't have evidence, how are you going to argue with them? And then what happens at the end is they hold money on you. So like this, if you've got evidence along the way, you can say, listen, at this date we recorded this is the timeline, this is the milestone that we've got, show me when your rollers all got installed, and away we go. So when a job's finished, you can look back at it wherever you're on. You have to look through the whole project to find maybe 30% of the way through the project is the photo that you want. So if you want a plumbing stage, you have to look through the whole thing. You just go to the plumbing milestone, bang, bring it up and bring the photos in that milestone.
A lot easier to find things.
A lot easier to find, backtrack. Builder wants to know just where the plumbing is in the backyard for his trades when they come in there. You just upload the photos, send it to him, and away you go. You have to look through the whole project just to find what's going to be really relevant.
Big problem when, even if it's in Dropbox, you may have, say, 100 photos, dragging and strolling through the photo to find the right one is actually a lot of time.
Yeah, it just makes it harder. Yeah. So you just want to keep it simple. Like if a builder rings and wants, the plumbing diagram to see where the pipe's running across the backyard, like you don't have to do that. Like you're doing it out of your goodwill. For him, you're not getting paid for nothing. So you want him as quick and efficient as possible to help him and make sure it doesn't damage your stuff. So it works both ways. You're doing it for him, but you're also doing it for yourself. So you don't have to come back and dig it up, repair it, and then who wears the cost? So this is the biggest issue down the track as well. On a job, it was only maybe 2 weeks ago, a job in Plenty, where the concreters have covered over, when they're concreting the pool, actual pool itself, they covered some of our pipes and we weren't exactly sure which direction the pipes were coming out of the pool. So instead of spending hours jackhammering and all the rest of it, I was on the job site there, me and Kale, and just flicked through the job photos, seen the skimmer box before the concrete was done, and we're seeing which direction the pipes were going. It was only like 30 mil of concrete, 20 mil of concrete just spilled over the top of it. The boys, when they cleaned the top off, spilled onto the pipes. They didn't wipe it off, but we could have spent an hour or two, which obviously cost me money, but we could have just spent hours there cleaning, finding, jackhammering and trying to find these pipes, whereas it took us maybe 3-4 minutes when they knew where they were. Wow. Bang, scratched around, we found them and plumbed in and away we go. So laneway issues as well. Clients try to blame damage on you when you're using laneway, so they provide you access in the laneway, and then they don't know that you've got photo evidence early in the piece, and then they try to put it on you. Oh, you damaged this in the laneway, damaged that in the laneway, and you didn't. Well, they have to provide you the access for one, but secondly, if it's just basic wear and tear from a machine accessing the property, that's just the way it goes. But if there's something they're trying to pin on you, well, you can say, listen, before we come in here, this curb piece was already knocked out, damaged, chipped. Yeah. Driveways, a lot of driveways.
So you actually keep evidence before you start.
Correct. Yeah. So we record the evidence. We record the access before you enter the property with the machinery. Cracked footpaths and things like that. Any chips on the building, and then at least that way they try to pin it on you. At least that way you go, listen, this is the way it was before we come in, and then what it is, it stops them from trying again, because they see that you've got evidence and you see you're logging things along the way, and then they're not going to try it again on you. A lot of people try to get something for nothing, so at least like this they can see how you go about it. I had one builder once in Ascot Vale asked me, "Oh, why are you taking so many photos?" Like here's the builder on the property. I said, "Oh, we'll just take it just to cover ourselves, just to know what we need to fix if we damage stuff, and then also what was damaged before we got here, just so things are clean cut and there's no disputes later." So far less work, because it's taking a photo doesn't take long at all. Like we've got the record button, just press the button and record it and talk. You don't even have to type anything, and then you've got a video where you've explained what you've changed or what you've done, and that's evidence. So you don't have to actually write anything on a bit of paper that you potentially might lose or put back in a filing cabinet, things like that. So it's actually easier to take these photos, and then the biggest thing is the reward comes in later when you fall back on it. You might think, I don't need a photo of this, I don't need a photo, but you never know what can happen down the track. You could have a bobcat run into the backyard and damage pipes, or just not intentionally, but something comes up, and then you don't know where's what ran because you haven't been there for 12 months. So you can't remember every job where you've been, what you've done. So you go back to the job and you can just pinpoint exactly where's what and how it's been done, and then you can solve the problem instead of trying to guess and dig up areas you don't need to, and just more efficient when you come back and repair the job or do what needs to be done. And then you look back and go, well, lucky we took photos, it only took a second, and the reward, that's where the reward is. It's like, mate, all this is paying off now. This is like, it's being really, and the further the more we use this app, the better it's getting, because we've got more jobs in there, we've got a bigger history, and then you're covering yourself more every time. So take photos in there. We get upset now. We're like, mate, we've got a problem here. You didn't take photos on this job, and we're like, and then it's like, oh shit, we better pull that finger out and make sure we get photos at every stage. So the boys have learnt now, after 2 years putting this in progress, they know how valuable it is, and and it's easy because every car has a tablet. So just jump, when you finish one stage of the job, just get out, record it, backfill, do what you got to backfill, finish the day off, and away you go. And even excavators, they take photos when they finish excavating a job. They take photos of exactly how the site's left. The owner will go dig something out and say, oh, you've left 2 meters of soil here, and then you got to bring a machine back to clean out 2 meters of soil, but you've left a clean site. And they pin it on you. And it's like, mate, I know I left a clean site, but if you don't have photos, you can't do that. You can't. You have to go clean it up, because that's the best thing about it. So, but the most critical thing is damage to property. Damage to our assets that we put in the ground, or things we build. We got history of it. If we got to go back, we know exactly what we've done. And then it's clean cut, and you know what you've done right or wrong, and you can fix it there and then, and more efficiently. When we built the first app, one of the workers, Kale, come from another company, and he couldn't believe it. First we had the folders, and he was overexcited about the folders, going, oh, I've never seen this before. And I'm thinking just a manila folder, like a plastic, waterproof folder, the stuff goes in, but it's just paperwork that's for the job, just take it with you. And he loved it. And then when I built the app, he couldn't believe it. He was beside himself going, mate, this is so easy. This is like the best thing ever. So, and he does speak to other people in the industry, and they don't have that sort of stuff. And he's like, he just appreciates exactly how good we've got it, and he loves it. They all love it. They wouldn't go back to a company that doesn't have it. Efficiency would go backwards for sure, 100% efficiency. It'll be definitely costing you money, repairs, cleanups, damage. The guys, they go to one job, they forget to take a folder with them. They come back to the factory, pick up a folder, go back to the job, or send it to their phone, get Julie in the office to waste time sending us a photo or something, or being more efficient. And then obviously, the next scale to this is probably letting the clients into it, so they can see exactly what's going on in their jobs. So you'll have you'll be ahead of the other guys out there, because you're going to be interacting with the customer different to the way they would be. So each milestone we could forward it to them and tell them this is the history of what's been done on the job so far, and update it to them so they feel secure that things are done right. We're not hiding nothing, whereas no one else is probably doing that at the moment. So these are the little advantages we can move forward with. I'm guessing no one else would be having an app specifically built for them in that sense, So if you explain it to a client and you tell them that we actually do this, they actually put a smile on their face. They feel a lot more confident in choosing the pool place rather than the competitors. The milestone is probably the best way to go about it, because if you give it to them every single day update, you probably never get out of there. So, you know what I mean? They're going to be asking you every little question, and a lot of questions, only because they're curious, they're probably, is not necessary. Like, it's just pretty silly, half of them, They just need to probably know where, the main things are, where things are ran, how they're ran, why they're ran. Quick little email, you can just attach the photos and away they go, just from the app, link it through. And at least that way they feel like they're not being left out, they're being informed along the way. And then the builder, he's going to probably get those phone calls, because he's going to give them an update at the milestone and tell them when they're going to be back, or call us back when this part's you build, when your house gets to frame stage, or when the lock-up stage, or whatever. Then we can come back in and work on the pool again. So it can work in both ways, where the customer's not going to call you as much, but at the same time you don't want to give them all the information every single minute of the day, because you'll be forever on the tablet and you're never going to get off it. So in terms of, it's going to work both ways in a positive way, but it's obviously, it goes at not just everything. You control how much you'd send them. Obviously that way they're secure with they're happy with what you've done, and then they can forward that on to their builders, other trades coming in, and then that way they're not going to bother you. Where's this and where's that one photo today? The three days later they'll call again. Where's this photo? Like, they'll have what's important and move on. If it's on your phone, it's pretty much everywhere you go. So, and it's in order, it's allocated in the right milestones as well. So, you get to a job and there's an issue or something comes up, you've got milestones already there. You just flick back and you can work off exactly what you got there. And if the client sees, or the builder that you're working with, the house builder you're working with at the time, sees that it's there and there on your phone, and you've got the milestone there, it straight away gives him confidence that you're not talking rubbish to him. It is what it is. So. Where we built the pool, they gave us a finished level of a balance tank, which is an overflow of a pool, and the house had a basement initially in it. So we've got the architect drawings, got put on the app and all that sort of stuff as per normal. Went and built the pool, set levels on the fence lines for everything. So we put finished level of the house, finished level of the balance tank, finished level of the pool. All these levels got put in. In the meantime, we finished our pool. The owner actually changed the plans of the house, so went back to the architect, changed it, and removed the basement out of the build, which we were notified. We didn't know nothing at all about it. About 12 months later, the builder started building this house, and went and did the side cut. No basement, obviously. Get a phone call, and he tells me the pool's 600 mil out of the ground too high. He goes, the pool's actually higher than the balance tank where the water flows into is meant to finish flush with the alfresco. So it's all like level. And he goes, I've done a side cut now, the pool's sticking out 600 mil out of the ground. And I'm thinking, no, it can't be, because I'm sure we've got the app with the photos, we've got levels on the fences, can't go wrong in here. Anyway, so you get over to the site, the builder's there, he pulls his plans out, and I look at the pool, and the pool is 600 mil out of the ground.
Wow.
And they're going, well, something's not right here, I go, show me your plans. Shows me his plans. I pull out the app, quickly flick out the plan, the house plans. Look at the levels, and then I look at the plans itself. I said, yours got a basement? I go, yep. I go, yours got a basement? He says, no. I said, well, what's the RL levels? And he goes, oh, this is the RL level here. And I took the photo that we took before we started, the set out. I got the photos with the RL marked on the fence at this level.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, I built it to what we designed initially, and you've gone and made, the owner's gone and changed the plans with the architect, and didn't notify him that the pool's already in.
Oh my goodness.
So now there's either pull the pool out, adjust the height of the house. So these are all costs, obviously. But luckily, there was another option where I built a tank that was out too high. I built it 700 mil deeper than what the plan said, just to store more water in it, which is what we prefer to do. And by chance that he can cut that tank down now. It still cost him about $8,000 to cut that tank down to the right level, so it's level with his alfresco now. If I didn't build that tank deep enough, he would have to either leave it higher or lift the house up by 600 mil, which means footings, foundations, 20, 30, or pull the pool out, start again. So it would have been astronomical. It would have been through the roof for the price. But the good thing is, I rocked up the site, and within about 10 minutes, I solved. I had evidence right there and then, and solved a problem that it wasn't our responsibility, wasn't our fault that that it went about that. You put hurdles up, you do a set out. But you need to record all that sort of stuff. So with the app, I just, you have set out, milestone set out, and you record all those set outs. So that way you got it before you start digging. So that way you got evidence that you've set it all out, and you're there with the owner or with the builder at the time, who's you're going through together with. So if there's any changes at the time, just do them there and then. But then before you start digging and start working, you got your reason why and the way things are set out. And then that's the evidence, obviously, to come back and fall onto. Whereas if I had that in my phone, I'd have to go back to the office, get that folder out. It still comes to a solution, but it would have taken me a day, So at least like this, I had evidence of it all. If you got nails on that fence and then the fence is taken away or whatever, the post is gone, well, at least you've got, the markings there with the numbers on there. So at least you can see what your levels were, and that way you can always got a reference. So coming back, so yeah, you might not have that in the old system. I might not had it all. I would have had to lose a day trying to work it all out and go back to the office. And where's productivity there? There's no production there. No one's going to pay me. Plus the stress that night you wouldn't have slept, and all the rest that comes with it. So so at least like this, I rocked up on the job site within 10 minutes, sorted it all out, and then we just started working on a solution. How we're going to. With the owner, how we're going to fix this, and at least I knew it wasn't coming out of my pocket, and it wasn't anything I done, and it was fair, and it was just fair, If it was my fault, it's my fault, but if it's not my fault, well then, yeah, it worked out really good, and that's when I rang you up straight away, mate, how's this for an experience? Unbelievable, in 10 minutes I fixed something that could have cost thousands in the end. Construction's always something that comes easy for me because I've always been in it, so I've now building this app as a construction, worker, director, sort of distinguishes a bit differently to what other apps are out there, how built. So, in a way, most tradies work is similar. So, it doesn't matter what kind of business you're in. I dig holes for a living. I build pools, but you got builders, house builders especially. They've got bigger milestones and more tradies on the job site than myself. So they'll probably be biggest benefit from this app, I reckon. They've got more paperwork they deal with. They've got more approvals from surveyors. They've got different stages they need to get approved. We're pretty simple. We've got a steel stage and we've got a final stage. So we don't have a lot of stages compared to a house builder. So if the house builder wants to use this 100%, he could just elaborate more on it, design it to what's going to suit him. Different milestones, more of them. And then you can also adapt to like your simple plumber who can put milestones in and then connect it to his invoicing and send invoices away. Or if it's a small plumbing business with maybe 2 or 3 workers, he can see the photos and then activate the invoices that way. So when he sees the evidence come in, so that way he doesn't have to travel and do all those ridiculous kilometres just to check if there's a tap connected properly or all that sort of stuff. So the boys can test stuff, have it running, video it, update it, the boss can look at it, done, send that out, send that invoice. So they can cover all construction. It's from top end, all the big bombs out there with hundreds of workers down to the small guys with 2-3 workers. Everyone's real interested in it as soon as they see us what we're doing with it. And if people ask us, have you got the engineering plans to this, we'll just pull out our phone or tablets and we just bring it up there and then they're like, how cool is this? Like, it's really simple and easy, it's straightforward, it's quick. And they're really impressed with it, So and they asked me, what is it? And I said, I built it myself. So they're quite surprised, it's quite surprised that we've gone this far, with it. And the good thing is we've been running with it for now, nearly over a year and a half or so, coming into 2 years. So it's proven. It works. It's done multiple. It saved me multiple. Not saved me, but it saved me multiple times money, time, effort, headaches, efficiency. So we're looking at other businesses. Surely everyone can benefit from it. Spend less time making up those folders because when Julia gets a permit in, everything's on the email. So all she does is just drag those folders into the app, into the job allocation, and it's in. Whereas before, you're printing stuff, you're drawing on them. You're spending 45 minutes on each job to create that folder. And now Julia does it. I pretty much don't have to set it up anymore. I'm the one that used to go in there and set it all up, and prepare the folders, so equipment lists and all that sort of stuff that goes on the jobs. Each job what's on it. Whereas now she just has it all already on the emails. None of this printing, no paperwork. A bit of environment, but also saving money as well in terms of printing and paperwork. So. And then once the job's on the app, we just schedule in jobs where we're going, and the boys just get allocated the address, and then they just bring up the app and they know where they're going, what they're doing. So it's much easier than the old system. Send them a message, type in where they're going and what they're doing, and if I go away on holidays, then I've got to make sure I'm up in the morning, tell them where they're going, what they're doing, or got to write it down like this. Look at their briefs. They just allocate what they got to do, and they can wake up in the morning, get to the factory, turn the tablets on, and it's telling them what they do. If there's something that I remember at night that needs to be done, I'll put a note in there at the start in the morning. Go back to the job you done yesterday. Just type, add this in there or change this in case something comes up. Client changes something, builder, whatever comes up. That throws a spanner in the works. Just put it in there and just go there first, get it done, go to the next job, and they got every job with them, so they don't have to worry about making sure they got folders and all this other junk. There's less texting because the evidence is there. I don't need to text them, send me a photo of the plumbing, or send me a photo of this, or send me a photo of that. I know that when I get home, it's all going to be on there. So they get their brief in the morning, what they need to do, and what gets allocated on the job for the day, and then when I get home, I just check I just download the photos or videos, what they've done, and I check it. So there's none of this forward and back 20 times. Like, I let them work, they let me run my business. So it's a good.
So they're much more independent.
Yeah,
they know what they're doing, and they just go away and do it. You don't need to tell them what to do.
No, that's right. You need to hold their hand and go through it all, or write it all down for them. So it's all there. There's a system in place now, and it just makes life so much easier for everyone. Like they say, picture paints 1,000 words. So it's much easier when you got a photo and you can draw on it, and then you can just quickly send it and make adjustments on it. With construction, it's all about measurements, offsets. Always relative to something. So when you talk to someone on the phone, you tell them to measure off this corner, measure off this wall, and it's not just that straightforward and simple. So if you got an actual photo of it, draw on it, send it to them, and then it gets uploaded into the the job. It's clear as day. Like there's absolute minimal chance of a stuff up. So there might be one, but at the moment, the way we're travelling with it, we're really happy with it, and it's eliminated a lot of problems, and it makes it clearer for the person on the job site. So that's what it's all about, and then you're more efficient. And you're not going back, and you're not fixing things that you should have done because it was a misunderstanding. So if we can keep that, that was our goal at the start as well. If we can keep things clean and simple, because to be honest, not many tradies are tech savvy, so half of them can't even type anyway. So ideally, if they don't have to type, that'll be the best. So if they can just talk on it and just be able to record, update it, and away they go. So it makes it simple for them. I can listen to it, and then I can make some notes on the side if I have to. Make adjustments on the plans, attach a new plan, change in engineering, delete the old one, put a new one in. It's all done quickly and easily. If I had to get my guys to type, it wouldn't work. Like, who's going to sit there muddy? If you got muddy, you're working dirty, muddy, raining, whatever it is, you're not going to sit there and start typing. You just if you've got to quickly take a video or something, just press record, talk, and it's done. And sit there, take a photo, then you got to attach a typing next to it. Yeah, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. It'll be too hard, and you just be forever. And then they'll hate the app. You'll hate them for not using it. And it wouldn't work.
That's exactly what he said. He said they don't use it.
Yeah, he doesn't use it. It'll be too hard.
Yeah.
But why make it harder than what it's hard enough as it is. Working construction is not easy, so if you can make it as easy as possible for them, they'll use it, and then in the end they'll see the benefits later because they've got the history and they've got the recordings and they've got the photo evidence, and when they go back to do a repair, they go, thank God I took photos of this because it was simple. If it wasn't simple, I wouldn't have done it. So that was the biggest driver I think when we did build the app, is to make it fat finger friendly. What we call it, So the average Joe Blow, like anyone can use it. It's just so simple, and that was the biggest goal. I want to make it as quick and easy as simple. But if you want to be effective, making it quick and easy, but it's not effective. If it only takes half a photo, or it doesn't get it all, you can't record, can't talk on it. Like, you just want to just make it as simple as possible, and possibly do everything you want, and have flexibility in it, so we can, if different ideas coming down the track, we can adjust the app and build the app to suit us. Before, when I was doing the works, and it gets, like a lot of our work gets backfilled, so if it gets backfilled, you can't see what's been done. At least like this, you start cutting corners or doing shortcuts, at least this exposes them now, so they have to take video evidence before it gets backfilled. So it's making probably, not that they weren't doing honest work, but it keeps them honest. So, they have to continue doing honest work because they know that it's getting recorded, updated, so if something does come down, fall back on us down the track, it gets exposed, and there's no blame game. It's, he done this or he done that, or it wasn't me or it wasn't you, and all that sort of stuff. So he took photos. It's come off his tablet. He's recorded it. It's updated. So we know exactly what's been done before it gets backfilled. So definitely quality work will be definitely improvement for those that are having issues with that. They'll definitely have better quality work because you're keeping them honest. Yeah, they're liable for what they do. When I pass it on to a builder to show them where our plumbing stuff is, and they say, oh, it's good work, it's clean, it's straight, it's not all over the place, and then you relay it back to your work and say, we just sent photos to them, they're happy, it makes them feel proud for sure, so it's a big circle that just goes around, but it helps everyone in the end. That's the key thing. No one damages things deliberately, like no one goes out there to damage someone's property or someone's workmanship or something like that. Accidents happen, but if we can avoid all that, it makes everyone more efficient, and then in the end the customer gets a better quality job in the end, and also it works out cheaper for everyone. Well, but not being an IT guy, obviously digging holes for a living, so computers aren't my thing. I didn't even know what Oracle was, so it's only a couple of days ago that you told me what they're about and how they go about things, and it's great that they can help companies like ours, because without them we'll be sticking to paper and printers. It's back to the old system. So it's impressive that what they've set up already, but it's even more impressive now they've explained to me what's the potential of where this can go. So and the flexibility they've got and everything they can do for us. So once we get this thing running, even to bigger companies that can that take on bigger jobs and more work, it's impressive that they can handle it, and we don't have to go to somewhere else or rebuild this for in a different system. That's what it all comes down to. The more evidence we can put into these jobs, the better for us. So the less chance of mistakes, keeping the workers more honest, keeping quality workmanship up, and obviously then we can expand our business from there too. Well, looking at it now, and think back.
You're not going to tell us we're bad.
Now, looking at it now, you think, this would have been a lot of work, a lot of headaches. When you look at, when I look at how much it helps my business now, you look back and you think, people looking from the outside look at it and go, that would have taken a lot of work, a lot of hours to set up, and a lot of headaches and arguing and all the rest of it to build it. But to be honest, it was pretty easy. Like, I'm the hands-on guy. Obviously, you've got some experience in the hands-on world too, which is good. But then you're the tech guy, and then you're the programmer. So it makes life easy where I'm communicating with people sort of on the same level. Changes were easy, they weren't hard. And obviously, you've got to be flexible because working with different industries is not easy. But if you're flexible, we're all there to reach a finish point. So it's working together to get there is the key, and it's not hard at all. Like it's actually been enjoyable because you see the benefits that's come with it. So stepping outside the square, outside the circle, and going, let's have a crack at this technology. It'll improve my business. Where most traders are going to be like, nah, just old school. Stick to their ways. It's not that hard to jump on board and implement this into your company because it's going to be big benefits, and it's not like you have to be some IT. Like, I don't know how to program anything still, even though I've got this thing going. I don't do any programming, and I don't want to do any. That's how it's set up, and that's why we want to keep it. The biggest thing is flexibility and the ability to change this the way we want it. So each business is different. So if you want to go to a house builder, pool builder, plumber, they all run their businesses differently depending on the capacity of it too. How many tradies they've got, how many vans they've got, how many subcontractors they've got. So different inspections, milestones. So every business is different. So the whole key is to build is to be flexible to everybody. So that way when someone does come on board, they're not stuck in one certain way. They've got to change their business to suit this app. We want to be able to build this app to suit them because big companies aren't going to change for a small app like this. It'd be crazy. So, and you're not going to get, if you've got 50 workers, you're going to get them to change their way to suit this app. So it's easy to make this app adjustable to them. So that was the whole flexibility of it was the goal, and I think we've achieved that now because when there's changes that we come up with, that come up with through my workers, subbies, and the things that we use. I ask you guys, and it gets done. It's not like we go to war about it, and then we, the changes come in, we add it to the app, and then we're away, and we see the difference straight away. I think it's the biggest difference is we're designing this from a tradesman. Most apps out there are built by IT guys that aren't in the construction game. They think they know exactly what goes out in the field, but realistically they've never experienced it. So with what we've got a combination of everything. We've got the app's getting built from someone that's in the field, running a business that is affected purely every day to day, with workers, tradesmen, people on the job site, to the guy building the app. So it's a direct link between the actual guy that needs it and the guy that's designing it. So it's a bit different to the other apps out there where they're just stuck in an office and they're assuming all on an assumption, whereas we're going on evidence. I've experienced this and we've designed it to fix it. So that's our biggest difference, I think, compared to the other stuff out there.
Very good question. In terms of the current state technology, using Oracle Apex offers incredible flexibility, and as Harry is saying, is the ability to upload multiple files. It's just one button pressed and there it is. So the ability to be very agile is very powerful. And just before we had an issue with a browser compatibility issue, and if we had to build it in a native app, that would have been a massive build. But again, it was just a very simple thing. So I think the current state technology is very powerful. In terms of the next stage, we want to then work on making it even better. So we want to make it more user-friendly, more interactive, more streaming, and more visual. So that's where we're going to go across to the Oracle JEP. And then later on, we want to then have more integration. So it's really like an add-on tool, because we don't really do project management. It has a milestone, but it's not there to project manage. It's there just to capture, index, and retrieve information. That's all it does. So, we're looking at Connex and having it as an add-on to that, or we're looking at how we can integrate it into financials and correlate with finance and payments and quality of businesses, and then we can do all sorts of benchmarking and milestones and mine the visual data. So I think there's a fair bit of work to be done, but in terms of where we are today, look, it's fit for purpose, highly scalable, and we're just excited to get more customers on board of it. So.